Hello.
Hi.
Doing okay?
Yep, I feel fine.
Good for you. You're almost there, girlfriend.
I know. Kate, we've pulled it off. I feel really good about our application.
I do too.
Yeah. So, um, so we've done it.
Honestly, it's making the loaves and fishes look like a card trick. What you managed.
Loaves and fishes, anybody could do that,
Yeah, but can you get I also think, look, you just it's amazing, and the amount of community opportunity for community input that you've managed to create over a pandemic in just a couple months is really quite extraordinary.
Yes, and the community came out and participated too, and that's been really encouraging. So
absolutely.
Yes, so I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged. Yes, yeah, I'm hopeful.
How are we looking for tomorrow?
I think tomorrow is going to be our best giving day.
Really?
Yes. So, so in April we made 21,000 total, and I don't remember the number of donors, but anyway, so we have 75 donors already, and almost $13,000 already, plus the $5,000 matching gift.
Which we will.
Right. So,
yeah,
so it's almost,
that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to let Brad in. So
that's fantastic.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Brad. Brad, nice work. I found a place where there's a period that should be a comma.
On the building program, I think I found it too. I think we already found
November something.
Yes, yeah, it was a date. We already fixed that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Savannah. Welcome.
Coming too.
Tim's here. Hey, Tim.
Oh wait, no audio. Wait a minute, or no video.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
There we go.
You are.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you, but not see you. Okay.
Hey, Savannah.
And here's Michelle. Okay. Oh, and we're waiting for Melanie. Okay.
Hey, Michelle.
Oh, there she is. Excellent. And really, what a bunch of troopers you've all been, showing up for, weekly meetings, sometimes more than one meeting in a week. And then these different community Zoom programs that we've had, and tours of other libraries. And then and then Michelle has done so much research and writing, and Melanie did so much editing and all the minutes. And oh my God, that chart which took 3 people to
Yeah.
you know,
All the work between meetings, all the reviewing,
yes,
all the edits, it's really, I was telling Marianne, pulling this off in the time that we've had to do it makes the loaves and fishes look like a card trick, y'all. This is something. It's really something. I hope everyone is feeling just like really proud and encouraged of our effort together. So welcome. This is our last meeting as a body so we have a meeting with select board tomorrow, but this is the last trustees meeting before we submit the application. So we got a pretty full agenda tonight. So I'm just gonna jump right in. And Melanie has sent the minutes from our last meeting around. So turn it over to you, Melanie, to accept any edits or changes to the minutes. Go ahead, Brad.
I have a couple of things. Let me see. About 2/3 of the way down the page, Giving Tuesday. I'm not sure what the November 23rd is, because Giving Tuesday is tomorrow. Right. Maybe 30, it was referencing money we knew we received by November 23rd. So as of?
Or it's just that you just carried the date down from the previous week.
Yeah, was the wrong date. That's all.
Okay.
Typo. What else did you have, Brad? And then I saw Michelle.
Down, last bullet item, tomorrow's meeting. This says 6 p.m. on the town calendar. We're listed as 6:30. I think that's correct. I was curious what the real time was.
Select board meeting.
Yeah.
So they're starting at 5:45, I think, but the trustees are posted at 6:30, and they're expecting so it's going to be a joint trustee and select board meeting when the trustees join at 6:30, and that's when you're on the select board agenda.
Okay.
And is that a separate Zoom from the select board Zoom?
The same Zoom. We'll just Zoom into their Zoom.
Because
so it's probably the same. Okay.
There's 2 items on the town calendar.
Right, but it's probably the same Zoom link.
Oh, I got you. So tomorrow is 6:30.
Yes.
So maybe that's a correction for the minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good if you wouldn't mind adding that.
And that's it for me.
All right, I saw Michelle too. Did you have something?
The select board, just to clarify, the select board is at
5:45, and then the
45, and we're on
joint meeting at 6:30.
Let's see. All right. Okay.
I was going to say I didn't find anything, so oh well, Brad did. Good job, Melanie.
Anybody else for any edits or corrections to the minutes?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing none.
So let's
Brad, would you like to? Yeah, would you like to make a motion?
The minute.
All right,
Second it. Okay, whatever.
All in favor, hands up, please.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Hoping that your job eases up a little bit now.
Yeah, these minutes were so easy.
Yeah, and
I was like, this is nothing.
All right, we are doing great. Moving right along to the next item, which is, it's kind of the biggie. It's discuss and approve the final building program and grant application, folks. So with just opening this up for, go ahead, Michelle.
So my question was on the chart on page 72. Now, I think I was looking at the wrong one, but I went back and looked again. It didn't have the total like I thought it had before. Or am I just remembering the building grant stuff and all the other stuff I worked on with that chart? Did we have the square footage total before?
Not on that chart.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. I just couldn't remember. I just had one other comment to think about, and you don't have to take it out or change it, but in the public schools, whiteboards are becoming obsolete. So I don't know, maybe, but when you get to that point, you might think about something else if that's true.
Right. So somebody asked for a whiteboard specifically, and remember, we have to be ready to fund everything we say we're going to have. So a smart board is an expensive item that we would, if we put a smart board in the building program, we have to be ready to fund it at town meeting. Okay.
That's true.
Yes.
It probably is better to leave it. I haven't seen it in the last 2 years. So I thought I'd just bring it up that they're replacing them in the public schools, not only Amherst, but Union 38 where my daughter lives. So yeah.
Right. Yes.
Okay. But that's a good point. We'll leave it in. They are expensive. And yeah, the nice thing about them too is you can write on them.
Right.
Unlike a TV monitor.
Yeah, we can think, oh, we want a smart board, and then plan for it. What we don't have to be able to fund it so that we have it when we open on day one. Then we get it. Then we start buying that technology. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. That's all I had about that. I couldn't figure out exactly the big changes except what you had mentioned in your email. Things look good to me. So
that's it. There aren't any other big changes.
I didn't. Just nothing jumped out at me. So
yes. Okay.
I saw Savannah with her hand up.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. One is that I noticed on page 22 that you talk about the Council in Aging. Is that what it's called here?
Oh no, it's the Council on Aging. So that's page 22. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job, Savannah. No one else caught that one.
And the other thing I wanted to ask about is I noticed that we see in the discussion of how much money has been raised, we see a total for what the town has contributed, and we see a total for what the fundraising has raised. Well, we haven't, the total's not there, but there's a place for it.
Right.
But do we ever show the two together?
I think there are places where we show the two together. And I think in the grant application, it says the two together. It just says, in fact, I'm sure it does.
Because it's so impressive.
It is.
The two together.
Yes.
It really just makes a statement.
I mean, we don't have the Giving Tuesday number.
Right.
So, but let's see.
Well, it's not in the financial support part. You have them separated out there.
Okay.
I feel like it's there too, Marianne, but I can't remember where either.
Yeah.
Anybody else remember?
I'm searching and I'm not finding it.
I don't see it either. So, all right. So there's a section on page 10 on the grant application where it says funds saved for new library. And it has the town amount, and then it has a sentence or a line about the Friends, the privately raised amount. And then we could just put, these two.
Hey, y'all, it's on page 23 of the building program. I just found it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, the total, which is a place that should be updated probably after tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, and it probably should be in the grant application. I agree with you, Savannah. I didn't, it didn't jump out to me, but that's a good point.
Okay. So on page 10, after this, so in the section funds saved for new library, I'll put after this, the part that's highlighted in yellow, I'll put these two funds added together equal, and whatever it is. Okay. One Wednesday morning, when we know how much we have from Giving Tuesday, we'll put that in. Okay. We'll add the two together. And then, so I'm going to highlight that. And then it's page 23 in the building program. I'll update it there too. Okay.
Yeah. So when I say page 23, I mean, there's no numbers in the building. Oh no, it actually is. I'm sorry, my bad. It is actually page 23. Okay, just making sure. Sometimes in PDF, the page numbers are not the same as the PDF calculations. So.
Okay.
All right, good call. Other thoughts, comments, touches?
We're talking about the building program now, right? Yeah.
I think we can consider anything in either the building program or the application.
I didn't have anything.
They're one agenda item.
Mm-hmm.
Application, so the financial, I sent you an updated one of those today, and then I sent you all the stuff about the land. When did I send that? Yesterday, I guess, or the day before, which Michelle again just pulled together so much of that, and then I did the page on the hazardous, on all the hazardous material testing. And so, which meant I went through all of the reports, and I'll tell you, that is like a story in itself. But I was really satisfied at the end of it. I would be like, oh my God, they found this. Oh, fine. Then they tested it again and it wasn't there. And there were clear explanations. And I asked the MBLC if they wanted the reports, and they said no, they just want the summary. So
they can
they
find
probably feel the same way. Sorry.
They can find the full thing if they need to. It's on the site.
That's right.
Is there a link? I'm sorry, I was reading for different things. Is there a link to the site anywhere in either the application?
So that's good. So, and Melanie had said, let's see, do we have a date of when we created? Because Melanie had suggested adding a date of when we created the website, but I had no idea what that was.
Well, I know we talked about it at a trustees meeting, and it happened relatively shortly thereafter. Right. It should be possible to do a search of the minutes. It was before the first tour, before the Oregon tour, that we created the site, I believe.
That's right, because I had the actually it was in June. We don't have to have a date, we can just put June.
Okay. June is good.
Okay.
Alrighty, so let's see. Current effort. Oh, it's right there. June 2021, the library director created a small library pilot project webpage. So I will just put a link right there.
Page 8 of what, Tim?
The grant application.
Oh, okay.
The link's not there, but the date is.
Right. But I'll put a link.
Are we transmitting this electronically as well, or just electronically, or just in print, or both?
Just electronically, but a PDF.
Yeah, but a link will work. That's great.
Okay. So should I call it link, or should I just put the whole?
I would just hyperlink it.
Okay. Okay. That's a good idea. Okay. Okay.
You do not have to take the full time for this. It's a lot. But just, I wanted to give people a little bit of time.
I'm good. I didn't, like I said, I didn't find anything other than the question I asked, so.
Mary Ann, I believe we're updating this with future data, meaning as soon as Giving Tuesday is done, we're going to add that data. Is there something in both the building program and the application that's waiting for?
Yes, they're both, it's in both documents, that, you know, the dollars raised. And so this has dollars raised in number of donors, and then it's also in the building program. So and it, you know, and so I believe that you can just, you know, vote to approve these documents with the expectation that the Giving Tuesday data would be added, you know, first thing Wednesday morning. And I've asked Becky if the select board can do the same thing, and she said, yes, they can choose to do that.
And those of us who are signing it also have an opportunity then, right? Or do you want it signed before the Giving Tuesday numbers are in? Sorry, Mr. Kelly, I see you. Right, just a second.
So I think once I get it, oh, it does have it. Let me see. I printed out. Okay, good. So I think you could sign it, and I really think it'd be awesome if all of you signed it, if it's possible. I think you could sign it as early as tomorrow. And I will be here by 9 a.m. tomorrow. I just have to plug in, I want to plug in the land section, and then maybe Brad could look at it for formatting. And then, you know, and then, because then the page numbers for the signature pages will change once I plug in all of that stuff. And then the good news is we only have to, we email the whole entire thing to them once we have it all together. And there are a lot of supporting documents, and I have gathered them all, and Brad has them all, and he has volunteered to put it all together in a nice PDF. But anyway, once I have it in and Brad has had a chance to look at it, then I can print out those signature pages with the right numbers on them, and you can all start signing. And then we have to mail the MBLC the signature pages. So I'm going to have you sign 2 so that, and then I'm going to send it, you know, so that they sign for it. But it just has to be postmarked by Friday. So we have plenty of time.
Great. Okay, I have Melanie next, and then Brad.
Yeah, so just to clarify, we can sign as early as tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
I think maybe a little later, because Brad, when do you think you'll have time to format it? Or look at the formatting?
This is the application.
Yes.
I could do it tomorrow morning, but it would be better not to say 9 a.m.
Okay.
It's 10. I certainly could get it by 10.
Okay. And then Melanie, Cynthia, so starting tomorrow, Cynthia's going to be working Tuesday and Thursday, her regular 3 to 7:30 shift, and the library is going to be open. So, and then if that doesn't work, I can be here anytime Wednesday morning. So, you know, if you go to work early, I can meet you here. Okay.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm definitely signing this. There's no way I'm not signing it. I will do whatever it takes.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope you all
yeah.
feel that way. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing could stop me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
From signing this document. I just want to be totally clear about that. And I also just want to say, like, what a pleasure it's been to work with all of you. Like, you know, when I walked into the town hall to just drop something off, and I think it was Susie Mosier and Marianne looked at each other and then looked at me and said, "Do you want to run for library trustee?" And I was like, "I don't even know what that is, but okay, because you're asking me to, because I'll do anything for Marianne." I had no idea that it would take me on this journey and this adventure with all of you, and it has been really tremendous, and I've learned so much, and it's just been phenomenal. I just feel so lucky to have been able to do this with all of you, and I shouldn't say that I know we're gonna get the grant, but I really think we're gonna get the grant. You know, it just comes down to, like, Otis has a toilet. Like, I feel like they have a toilet. We don't have a toilet. We deserve the grant. Like, I know they deserve a new library too, you know, and Marianne's been very gracious about that. We both communities deserve a new library. But so thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Can I just have, this is a quick aside, but I just want to say how I got roped into this too. Like, my daughter was 8, she's 22 now. We went to this library chocolate fest that was at the AC, and it was really about the building. Like, they were looking for Liftnick members, and Karen Traub roped me in there, and Cliff Reed too, who I've known forever. So yeah, you go to these things, it's just about chocolate. Then they do this whole slide presentation, PowerPoint presentation. You finally find yourself roped in. But anyway, it's so funny.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm sure we all know how to appreciate what Melanie just said.
Yeah, totally.
I'm really moved by it. Over to you, Brad.
This is similar to what I was asking before. In the building program, just below where it says the Giving Tuesday part, where am I? Page 9, I think. It says financial support. And I believe that's where we insert the document you gave us that was called financial support. Is that correct?
The grant application.
The grant application.
Yes, yes.
And then I think you mentioned one more bit that gets inserted as well. Was that
the whole part about the land, the site selection that Michelle and I wrote?
And where does that go?
That goes
and if you look at the grant application at the top, all the questions are there. It'll show you the order, and then the narrative part came afterwards.
Right. It goes under proposed site. So for section 1 is project information, and then section 2 is proposed site, and then section 3 is community library readiness. And in my copy, I already put the financial information in because I knew I was done with it. And because I went over the numbers with Becky again, and I had transposed a 7 and a 0, not in the town's favor. So anyway, it's so I felt like those numbers were good. So that last section I sent you out today had all of the right numbers, and then the whole proposed site section I haven't plunked in because I wanted to see if any of you had feedback on it first.
Double checking to make sure. Okay. I still don't find it. Oh, proposed site. So in the proposed site section, there's A, B, C, D.
Yes. Yes.
And where does this get added? In the proposed section?
It goes, there's an answer to each of those bullets. So I'll just take all of those out and plunk the whole thing in.
Ah, okay. So instead of everything in proposed site, to proposed site, we have the content of the new document. Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
That's what I was looking for.
Okay. Okay. And did everybody see that? So I had the assessor, so that the way that the MBLC instructed that we determine the value of the land was different than the last time. And so I contacted the assessor and he gave it a value of $57,528. And, you know, it's last time we had a real estate agent do an appraisal and it was 65,000. And this time they very clearly said, you know, get your town's assessed value. So, so that's what we'll use. So.
Okay, I just jumped myself right into the queue. Because one thing, and one thing I wondered is that I know the Friends paid for a chunk of the site testing. I don't know if they paid for that out of the new library fund, and if we're considering that as still in there because it's part of a project cost, or it should be subtracted from the Friends total.
So I'm keeping it as part of the Friends total. It will be ineligible costs, but still part of the project costs. And it wasn't that much money.
Yeah, I know it wasn't. I know. I just wanted to make sure that we were, you know, we were being accurate.
Right.
And when your approach makes perfect sense to me from an accounting point of view, although I would love to hear Tim's point of view on that too, just because we're all going to put our names on this, right? Tim, did you understand that point?
I was looking for, no, because I actually didn't hear you. I was looking at it.
Well, so Marianne's approach is to keep, the Friends did expend some money from the new library account for site testing, which is part of the project cost. And therefore, since the project hasn't been funded by the state or approved to go forward, it's legitimate, it seems to me, to keep that in the total raised, because we're talking about total raised, and that hasn't changed, even if some of it's been expended towards the project. But this is a sort of an accounting question, so I wanted to know what your opinion of it was.
No, I think that makes sense. I don't disagree with that. I do have if I can go backwards, so
Sure, go ahead.
Marianne, you talked about under proposed site on the application, putting in what you had written separately. And then you were, but what I got and what you wrote separately, I didn't see anything about the value of the site. Am I missing something?
Oh, because it's not in there. So it's because that wasn't in Michelle's part. And it's in my copy of the grant application, and I have a document from the assessor. I had the assessor make us a document, which Brad has, that he'll attach, and then I just wrote for the value of the land. So in the actual grant application, there's under proposed site, there's letter E, value of the site, and then there were 3 different sections describing how you would determine the value. And one of them is if it's town owned, being transferred for the purpose of the library, attach a copy of the town assessor's valuation. So I got the town assessor's valuation, and then I deleted those others from my section because we didn't buy the land and it wasn't the other. And then I just put in the value from the assessor and said that the form will be attached.
And then
so,
just one more.
Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
That's radically going to change the page numbering, I think. So how's that going to work again with the signing tomorrow or Wednesday?
Oh, well, so we're going to put in that other thing, and then Brad's going to make sure it's all formatted nicely. And then I'll print out the signature pages after everything is added in.
So the signature pages don't have to be numbered or anything?
No, they are numbered, but I won't print them out until after we've put everything in.
Okay.
Which will renumber the pages. So,
right.
So just so we're all absolutely clear, and for for the minutes. Marianne is going to take the text that we received tonight on the proposed site, right? And it's going to insert that into and replace the existing section 2 with that text that she and Michelle worked on, right? And then after that, Brad is going to reformat and repaginate, and then Marianne will print that out, and then trustees can go and sign. Correct? Okay, great. Anything else on this before we wrap up this section?
Marianne, if we can, at the end of this meeting or right thereafter, if we can just touch base so that I make sure I'm in sync with what you're doing,
Yes.
that'd be great.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I am hearing none. This is a momentous occasion. If we were in person, I would definitely be popping a cork right about now, y'all. So I would entertain a motion to pass for the trustees vote to approve a provisional approval pending the changes that we've discussed tonight, both the building program and the grant application. Michelle.
Okay, I want to make the motion, but I also want to say I think we should do a roll call because this is such a big deal.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right, I'm making a motion to pass and approve both the building program and the grant application as discussed this evening.
Here's a second. I have a second from Brad. All in favor, and we're going to say our names. Kate Sell, co-chair. I say yes. Michelle?
As Michelle Regan, co-chair, yes.
And now we're going to go alphabetically. Brad?
Brad Foster, yes.
Tim? Oh, no, sorry. That actually should be Melanie.
Melanie De Silva, yes.
Tim?
Tim Logan, yes.
And Savannah?
Savannah Willette, yes.
We did it. We did it.
Wow, y'all. Wow. Okay. I have to look at the agenda. That was a big deal. Where are we in our agenda? So somehow in the middle of doing all of this, Marianne also remembered that she is responsible for submitting for our approval an action plan. I'm not quite sure how you did that, Marianne. But Marianne sent us her annual action plan. This is essentially Marianne's work plan that as her titular supervisors, we are responsible for reviewing and approving. Did everyone receive the action plan? And would people like just a couple minutes to look it over? Yeah, let's just take a couple minutes. Brad, go ahead.
I have two things. One, I think this is a document that is part of the attachments.
No, it's not.
So
no,
it's not.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't go in the building program. This just gets uploaded on the MBLC website. This has nothing to do with the grant application.
Okay.
It's an annual requirement.
Yeah.
My questions still remain.
Okay.
There are quite a few double spaces.
Oh, okay.
Being a formatting person, I would say get rid of them.
Guru.
And down at the bottom, a more serious question. At the top of page 3, objectives if the town of Shutesbury is awarded a library, et cetera, et cetera. Over on the right, by whom, I thought the list of by whom was bigger than, or not quite the same as the library director and the trustees. I thought there were other people we talked about.
Well, so we could add in library building committee.
But that is to be appointed, right?
Right.
Oh, appointed
by
by.
whom?
Okay, I take it back. That makes perfect sense. We're the ones responsible, all of us.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We can determine other people who are accountable for doing the work, are responsible for doing what we are accountable for seeing that it's done. Okay, I had I had a typo. It is the Shutesbury Athletic Club, not the Athletic Club.
Where is that? I know I put them in here.
Is in-person programs on page 1. Third.
Yep, I got it.
Row. Okay. Brad, do you have another thing?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I have a general question.
Go ahead, Tim.
Is this something where the MBLC provides a format, or are the goals and everything here strictly off the top of your head, Marianne?
The goals are from the long range plan.
Okay.
We have 4 goals in the long range plan. I took 3 of them and made objectives and actions to go with the goals. So the goals are something we all worked on. Well, you know, I wrote earlier and then we worked on some. I remember you making a good suggestion about one of them. We could find it in the minutes. And
we
then
approved the long range plan also.
Yeah.
We reviewed it and approved it.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And then I just, you know, and then I just thought, okay, what can we actually do in relation to those goals?
Okay. Thank you.
In this time of not knowing anything, right? You know, like, so.
Great question. Others have questions about, I think for some of us, this is probably the first time that Melanie, this is probably the first time you've been part of this, but yeah, again, just for context, the MBLC does require it, but it would be good governance practice for us, even if they didn't, you know, to have, you know, we have this, the sort of the long range strategic plan that we've just completed. This is year 1 of it. And these are the, you know, the actionable items to achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. Brad.
One more. This is again, Brad, the nitpicky formatter. There are a couple of rows with no data.
I took them out. Yeah.
Okay.
I took them out. Yeah.
That's all.
Last call.
Getting some feedback from somebody.
It might be me.
Sounds like somebody's vacuuming. Right? Does it sound that way? It sounds exactly like somebody's vacuuming. I just assumed somebody was in the background.
Yeah, I think it's Kate.
Do you hear it when I'm muted?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay, it's totally me. Sorry. Believe me, no one's vacuuming.
I just assumed like one of your kids was vacuuming or.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? So are we ready to move on the action plan? Yeah. A motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to approve the action plan on the floor. Can I second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Unanimous. All right. We are doing so well on time, y'all. We have the joint meeting with the select board tomorrow evening. Is there any prep that we need to do?
I think you have all read this over and over and over again. You understand it and agree with it all. So I think you're good.
So
Do you expect any public comment or questions tomorrow?
You know, it's hard to say. I'm surprised that there aren't any guests tonight, you know.
Yeah, where are they?
And it's, you know, so it's hard to say. I don't expect
If we
that.
do, I'd like to suggest that we kind of nominate somebody to field the questions so that it's kind of coordinated rather than one person here, one person there. It's just a thought.
No, it's a very good thought, I think. Michelle, I would be glad to do that if you like.
Sure, you've been the public spokesman mostly anyway, so that makes sense.
Okay, great. And then I think there's, you know, we definitely know there's things that we will pass around, some things that'll go straight to Marianne, but it makes sense that if there were questions on, you know, difference among the spaces, that might go to Brad. If there are, you know, historical questions about the processes or something like that, that might go to Michelle. Does that sound right to folks? Okay, great.
So my question, Marianne, is will the select board have seen the grant application prior to the meeting?
Yes, I'm going to send it to them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not that long. They should be able to look at it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It really isn't that long.
Yeah,
you know. It's
very quick read.
Yeah.
Especially once it's completely perfectly formatted.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Anything else on tomorrow evening's meeting? I mean, I suspect that one of the reasons that people aren't here is that they've had many, many opportunities to be here, and they know that we're wrapping up. And the time that we gave for public comment is over. And I do think that people have had ample opportunity, and many people have taken the advantage of that ample opportunity. Go ahead, Brad.
Has the select board seen the building program?
You know, the building program has been on the website, and we've announced it to the community a number of times. And let's see, Rita has come to some of the meetings, and I think Eric
came to at least one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's right.
yeah. So I think, you know, I think they're aware. And Melissa hasn't, but I think that they're hearing a lot about it over at town hall. So
I just didn't know if we should be sending the latest version when we send the application.
Well, we can.
I think we should be posting that too. The whole application should be posted. Just we've been transparent. We'll continue to be transparent. Savannah.
Just I have a question about tomorrow night. The meeting. Can you join at 6:30 or do you have to be there beforehand?
No, you can join at 6:30.
Okay.
Great question. And Brad?
I remember a meeting, I believe it was a library meeting, although I couldn't tell you that. This was some time ago where we were coming in, I was coming in along with people in whatever committee I was part of. And we were I think it was library. We were expected to say it was 6:30. And they went through the agenda really fast. And so we got brought in early and not everybody was there at that time. I suggest logging in at 6:15 just in case they move at a wicked fast pace. I don't think we have any problem joining in. It's a public meeting. We can join at any time we want to.
That's a really good point.
That is a good point. Yeah, I think then, the last time we were there, I do believe they were done a little early. So it was a good thing we were there. Yeah,
all right. I'm going to plan to just join at 6:15 then. And maybe others will as well.
Yeah.
Great idea. Thank you.
Oh.
Change my calendar to reflect that.
So when we talk about the next meeting, we need to talk about the open space thing too. So
yeah, we do. We're almost there.
Okay. I just thought
no, it's a really good point. It should we could be taking agenda items for our next meeting and setting the date for that. Marianne, did you have something before we get there?
The budget. We meet with the finance committee on December 14th. And which I think is amazing that I even know that. So we should approve a budget before December 14th. Let's look at a December calendar. And I thought that, so since the open space plan is December 16th, that's their meeting. So if you were going to meet that Monday, the 13th, we could, I could do the budget. Oh my God, that means next week I'm doing the budget. And I'll be hanging out with my buddy Brad going through the budget. So
no rest for the weary, y'all.
No kidding. This is crazy, huh?
Yes. But I thought about asking the finance committee for an extension, and really, wouldn't we all just rather have it all done before Christmas? There'll be more to do. Yeah.
Is that date locked in? It's not on the website yet, on the calendar.
Well, we would have to do for the finance committee meeting or for our meeting?
The finance committee.
They have meetings on a regular schedule. So that's there, and they, at some point, like in the early fall, they send out a letter saying this is your date. And they have the whole list of dates. So they meet like every other Tuesday. And we always get an early date.
Do they post it so we'll get a link?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they post it. They just post it, 48 hours in advance, or, Okay.
Do you know what time they typically want us there, or you'll just let us know?
Yeah, usually around 7, but I'll find out.
Okay.
Okay. So by dint of that discussion, it seems like we've proposed our next meeting date for the 13th of December, Monday at 7:30. Does that work for a quorum? Yeah, we just got a quorum. Okay. The only thing I will say is I'm getting boosted like the day before, and if it affects me the way that previous shots did, I may not be feeling very well. So I'll do my best, but Michelle, just be aware.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. And then that gives us a couple items for the agenda, the budget and the proposal for FinCom, as well as the open space proposal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything else that we'll need. We'll have sort of regular business, approval of minutes, approval of director's report if you have time to do one. And any other sort of business. Yeah. Go ahead, Brad. You got something else?
I might be late that day. That's one of those. Sometime I'll have a meeting that I can't avoid.
Okay. All right. Anything? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So we're talking about open space, the open space meeting.
Yeah, the chart that they sent us, there's just one little place. They just want our support. We just have to talk about what they put in there. I think they want to look for grants and things to have, like, swing set and some things, but they're just looking for support from us as a body, is what Neil said. Yeah, at the last meeting. I think you weren't there yet. You were struggling to get online, as I recall. So I asked Gail Fleischeicher what the point was, and she said, we're just looking for your support. So
got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the next meeting, we have the open space document and the budget.
Yep.
And we're not meeting next week?
No, that'd be nice.
If you'd really want to, Melanie.
We
can arrange it.
I don't want to. It's actually my birthday on the 6th.
Oh, let's give you a break.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Tim had a thing, I think.
It's unrelated, but the the town garden thing that was going to go behind the town hall, they, as far as I know, voted to go ahead and put that by the library. How does this process interact with when they can actually start their garden? Because if they wait for the library to be built, that whole thing is delayed 2 or 3 years. And yet they've approved a budget for it, right? Do we have any obligation to work with them, or I just want to understand our connection with that, because there was one question a couple of weeks ago about related to the town garden, and I just don't want it to somehow be an issue. I mean, I think the people that are interested in it are really excited to have it be by the library at that new location, but I just don't know if there's anything we need to do to just make sure everybody's on the same wavelength, et cetera.
Can I make a suggestion about that? Do we have someone who liaises regularly with the organizers of the community garden who isn't Marianne? Is anybody else? Okay, well, Marianne, then if you want to hand off to one of us, I would be glad to reach out. But maybe we could, I think we need a little bit more information about what they're thinking, but either way, they're not going to be breaking ground now, I assume. So we could probably put it on the agenda for the next meeting. Would that feel good to folks? And in the meantime, have a conversation. Go ahead, Michelle.
Isn't that more of a select board issue than us? Like, why is it being put in our lap? You know, I mean,
I'm not saying it is. I just want to make sure we've made sure that we've addressed any responsibilities or concerns we might have. For example, is there some limitation in this process that would prevent them from doing this for 2 or 3 years? I just don't know enough about it. All I'm doing is, I really am saying, is it a question?
It might not be wise to build it on the library site now, given that we don't actually know right where the library is going to be, if you want, you know. But Brad, go ahead, and then Marianne.
That's basically what I was going to say. And it's more than just where the library will be. It's the whole construction zone around the library, which is a lot bigger than what the library will be.
That's really good.
It's a coordinating issue, I feel. We just have to let them know we don't know. We don't know exactly
all of that.
Yeah, it seems like it's really more a select board issue, frankly. That's what I think. But okay. Aaron did mention that. He just said, oh, yeah, it probably would make more sense to have it over there. But you're right. It's not going to happen. If we get it, it's not going to happen for a couple of years.
Yeah, they know that. They know that. And so they have a community preservation grants, and they don't have to spend that in a certain amount of time.
That's good.
So it's so, you know, anyway, it's you know, they know it'll delay them being able to start the gardens. But you know, but if do you want me to ask them to come to the next trustee meeting?
Well, it does feel like a little premature, I guess. If they already know, I mean, presumably they're thinking about the trade-offs and how great it would be to have a garden in a space that people are already going to want to come to, and to have a potable water supply that they could use and stuff like that. And if that's worth the wait for them, then, you know, that seems like good enough for now. Go ahead, Melanie.
I just had a quick question about whether it might be worth it to mention that in the building program or in the grant somewhere, because it's kind of exciting that the community is mobilizing and getting excited and making these decisions around the possibility of having a library, like having a vibrant community garden next to the library is kind of amazing.
I thought I read somewhere that,
oh, is it in there? Sorry.
That they had already decided to put it in that location and were happy about it. Maybe I'm hallucinating.
Go ahead, Marianne.
Yeah, they did. They did, and they asked the Community Preservation Committee if they could change the location. So it's, you know, so that's what they would like to do. They could easily go back to town hall, but why would we not welcome them?
Oh, right.
You know?
Right.
And the reason why they made that decision is because community preservation was meeting. So, and they don't meet all the time. And so that's, you know, so that's a good thing. And then there was something else I was going to say, but I forget what it is now.
So to Melanie's point, is it something that, I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah. So instead of putting it in the grant application that we've already approved, can we just talk about it when they come out to visit in January? Because we'll have more information about it then.
Yep.
That seems like Tim, Tim, do you feel like that addresses your point adequately?
Well, I didn't really have a point. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't a question that went unasked in relation to it. Sounds to me like there's no issue there, so I'm not worried about it.
Great. Okay, thank you. Anything else before we wrap up this evening? Okay. This is important. As many of us who can be there will be there tomorrow at 6:15 or close to for the select board meeting. And then Monday, the 6th, we will not meet. Do not come here. We will not be here. We will be celebrating Michelle's birthday either directly or in absentia. Do not come to a trustees meeting. All right. You think you can break yourself of the habit for that one
How
day?
many months now?
It's been a lot. It's been a lot, y'all. Thank you all so much. It is an honor, a real honor to work with you.
Feels good to
Thank you,
wrap
everybody.
this up.
You have been troopers.
Ditto.
You know? Yes. Yeah. It's
All right.
really been something.
Way to go.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
So Brad, you're gonna stick around.
Sure. Do you want to
Yeah,
we
I'll
don't
stop
need
the
to
recording. Let me stop the recording.
Just us.
Okay. Oh, I have to do it from here. Stop recording.